Replacing values has never been easier with the help of Power Query. There's no need to write complex if statements, it can be done with the press of a button. I have already saved my file, which can be done by heading over to the save icon on the top left and clicking save. Next, I'm going to navigate all the way through to the gender column, which is the column that we want to replace. So I'm just going to scroll across to the right. Here's the gender column, and I am going to click on the column. By highlighting the column, we're automatically telling Power Query, hey Power Query, I am selecting this column and this is the column that we want to transform. Inside this column, we have M for male and F for female. Instead of having these short codes, I would like to have the full name of the gender. So instead of having M for male, I want to have male and female. How do we do that? In our previous lesson, most of our transformations happen on the Home tab from the ribbon above. In this lesson, we're going to be relying on the Transform tab. So I'm going to click on Transform and head over to Replace Values. If I click on this little arrow pointing down, we have Replace Values or Replace Errors. In our case, we don't have any errors, so I'm going to click on Replace Values. Here we see a pop-up window asking us which value to find and what to replace the value with. In our case, we want to find value M and replace it with male. Now I'm going to click OK. And nothing changed. Do you know why? Let me go back to the step. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over where we have the replaced value step and click on this little icon. And we say we're looking for lowercase m instead of capital case M. Replacing values is case sensitive. So if you want to replace a specific value, you need to make sure that you've typed it down correctly. Even if it's spelled the same, if the case is lowercase or uppercase, this will not work. So I'm going to replace lowercase m with capital case M and click OK. All of a sudden our M is now male. Can you guess what we need to do to replace F with female? You may want to pause the video now and try it yourself. That's right, you've guessed it. We highlight the column and we go to Replace Values. From Replace Values, we search for value to find, in our case it's F, and we say replace it with female. I'm going to click OK. Now we have female replaced, but it's not capitalized. We have female with lowercase f. There's two ways we can fix that. The first way is if you go back to the step and you edit the step. So instead of saying lowercase female, we capitalize female here and click OK. The other way to do it is by going over to the Format. So inside Transform, we have this Format button. We click on the Format little drop down arrow and we say capitalize each word. I'm going to click on that. And suddenly our female is capitalized. Our male was already capitalized, so there were no changes on the male. Since we are happy with the transformations, I am going to apply the changes by heading over to File and clicking Apply. The additional steps that we have created are now applied inside Power Query. Applying changes, however, is not the same as saving changes. I know this may sound a bit confusing, so let me explain. When we click the save icon here, the changes are saved on the physical file. In our case, it's called Replacing Values. So the save button saves all the changes that happen inside this file to Replacing Values. When we apply the changes from the File menu by clicking File and then Apply, the changes only get saved inside Power Query. So if we close Power BI without hitting the Save button here, our changes will not be saved inside the Power BI file. The Apply button is something for Power Query to remember what transformations need to be applied to the data source. And because Power Query is part of Power BI, all changes need to be saved on the Power BI file.